you ever seen children line up in pairs when they go on a trip to the zoo? How many children would there be if there were 10 pairs? We call this an array, and it shows all the children we would have if there were 10 pairs. Let's see. 2 plus 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 2. If you added all of these together, you could find the answer. It would also be the same if you counted by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. But since there are 10 rows of 2 each, we can write it this way. 10 times 2 equals 20. Now we're using multiplication. If we changed from 10 rows of 2 each to 2 rows of 10 each, would the answer still be the same? Yes. 2 times 10 is the same as 10 times 2. At the zoo, you'll see a lot of different monkeys in different locations. There's a monkey island, there's a monkey yard, and there's a monkey house where you'll see monkeys in cages. Inside the monkey house, there are 4 cages in a row. Each cage has 5 monkeys in it. How many monkeys are there all together? We could say that there are 4 equivalent sets of 5 monkeys. One way to find the answer is to add them all together. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, and we'd find that there are 20 monkeys. Can you count by 5s? Let's try. 5, 10, 15, 20. But we could also find the answer by multiplication, because multiplication is just repeated addition of the same number. Instead of sets, let's think of this as an array that represents 4 cages with 5 monkeys in each. We can write this as 4 times 5 equals 20. When we're doing multiplication, we call the numbers that we are multiplying the factors, and the answer we are seeking the product. Sometimes we write the factors one above the other, with the product under a line at the bottom. This also says 4 times 5 equals 20. How many monkeys would we have if we had 3 cages with 5 monkeys? Or 2 cages with 5 monkeys? Or 1 cage with 5 monkeys? When we multiply 1 times a number, we know that the product is always the same as that number. What if you have 0 cages with 5 monkeys? How many monkeys will you have? That's right, no monkeys, because the product of 0 times any number is always 0. What if we had 5 cages with 4 monkeys in each? Would we have the same number of monkeys we had before? What if we had 5 cages with 3 monkeys in each? Or 5 cages with 2 monkeys in each? or one monkey in each cage. When we multiply any number times 1, the product is always the same as that number. And of course, the product of 0 times any number is always 0. Now let's see how well you know the multiplication table. We know that 0 times any number is 0. If we want to multiply 1 times 5, we put the product where the paths of the two numbers meet. What is it? What's 2 times 5? 3 times 5. 4 times 5. 5 times 5. And if 4 times 5 is 20, then 5 times 4 will also be 20. Let's visit the birdhouse and see if we can find any multiplication problems to solve here. In the birdhouse, there is a group of 7 beautifully colored macaws. These birds are found in the jungles of Central America, where they live on fruits and nuts. Here at the zoo for lunch, they each receive 4 peanuts. How many peanuts will the keepers have to give them altogether? We can find the product by multiplying 4 times 7. But what if we only know the multiplication table up to 5s? There's another way to find this product. We can think of the number 7 as 5 plus 2. We know this is another way of saying 7. Now we still want to multiply this by 4 because each of the birds receives 4 peanuts. So to do this, we multiply the 4 times 5 and the 4 times 2. What is 4 times 5? What is 4 times 2? Then we add 20 and 8. So now we know that if each of 7 macaws is to receive 4 peanuts, the keepers will need 28 peanuts altogether. That's a lot of peanuts. Perhaps now we'd better look at the rest of the multiplication table. Do you know the table to tens? Do you know 1 times 10? Tens are easy because they're like multiplying by ones. except now we use the ones place and the tens place, and even the hundreds place. Do you know the other numbers in the multiplication table? Well, it's a bit chilly outside today, but it's still a lot of fun to have a picnic. Do you suppose there will be any multiplication problems here? Uh-oh, someone forgot to bring something to drink. If 12 children want to buy something to drink, and each one has 3 cents, will they have enough money to buy a drink mix at the grocery store? Well, 12 is really 1 10 and 2 ones, isn't it? And we're going to multiply 3 times each one of them. So first, we multiply 3 times 2 and put the product 6 under the ones place. Then we multiply 3 times 10 and put the product 30 under the tens place. When we add 30 and 6, we get 36. So, if each of the 12 children has 3 cents for a drink, we'll have 36 cents altogether. It looks as if we have just enough. So let's review what we've learned about multiplication today. We found that multiplication is really repeated addition of the same number. We also found that if we wish to multiply 2 factors together, the product will be the same no matter which way we multiply them. We found that the product of any number times 1 is the same as the number itself. And that the product of any number times 0 is 0. We found that we can change a number into a simpler form so that we can multiply numbers that we have learned in our multiplication table. How well do you know your multiplication table?